calling to say I
Good evening and welcome back once again to the Formula Racing League. You may notice the flowing Italian accent isn't here tonight, and that's because I am the Pink Pig and I am joined by the one and only Dirty Derek. How are you, sir?
Dirty Derek in the house.
And hopefully we're able to make a stab at filling in for Chromodix's absence. Now, more importantly, we're getting ready for the finale here at the famous Indianapolis Speedway. As always, the season has been contested fiercely, and today we'll find out who will be crowned Season 9's Pro-Am and Am Rookies Champion. Derek, you're an old hand at the rookie series. In fact, I think you were the evil genius who came up with the idea.
Rookies originally, yeah.
Yeah, well, what's been your experience of the Rookies Championship so far? Not necessarily this season, but in seasons gone by.
But season before, it's always been fun. It's always been good racing. Good to see people using it to learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed a little bit. Evolved, I would say, I suppose.
Yeah.
To where you now either do rookies or you do masters, depending on your rank. So it's definitely it's a progression system. So it's very nice to see progressing to Pro-Am and then into a completely different series.
Well, if you look at the likes of Terence Keenan, Alex Zakdal, Benjamin Eck, they've all progressed through the original Rookies Championship into the points, the podium positions and winning positions of the Master Series, which is the ultimate aim for all our drivers. There's only the likes of you and I who are always stuck in the lower echelons of whatever league we're racing in, really, isn't it? We just don't improve.
Are we taking credit for making drivers better and putting them in the position that they're in today?
Yes, absolutely. In terms of our championship standings, we'll have a look at the AMs first of all. So we've got Ross Spencer, who's currently in 5th place. He's on 332.5 points. Simon Turner is in 4th place on 359. Giuseppe Scudetto is in 3rd place on 366, and then the two drivers who have a realistic chance of winning the championship, you've got Jordan May currently in 2nd place on 392 points, and Elias Baktiv in 1st place on 410.5 points. Remember, we do have a drop round in this championship, so nobody actually knows who's going to win until the bitter end. Elias has lost a 15th place from round 3, and Jordan's lost he wasn't able to attend in round 4. So anything can change in terms of the point standing to that. In terms of the Pro-Ams, you have Neil Woodward's in the wall in 5th place on 356 points, Drobat in 4th place on 364.5 points, and then you've got Adam Anderson in 3rd on 379 points, with Paul Sims 17.5 points behind Elias Fernando. So Paul Sims is on 416.5 and Elias Fernando is on 444 points. So Paul has lost a DNS from the very first round, and Elias has lost a 3rd place from round number 5. So again, the points can change. There are a total of 75 points up for grabs for the winner tonight, and with as mentioned, the added complication of the drop round, it could really go down to the wire. The format will be qualifying for 20 minutes. The AMs will go out in the first 10 minutes, and then the Pro-Ams will go out in the final 10 minutes, and then we have a 60-minute race. That 60-minute race, the drivers have to complete one pit stop and pit stop for fuel. Tyres are optional, remember, so you could go throw the baby out with the bathwater, just chuck some fuel in and hope your tyres last for an hour. Or you could go be a nice safe cake and replace your tyres at the same time. Indianapolis, what's the tyre wear like, Derek, from your experience?
You might as well drive on with a tyre.
Yeah, do you reckon
get more distance out of them?
Well, if you're paying for them yourself, yeah, then you might as well carry on driving.
Tyre driving is awesome. The thing is, it's probably worth your while if you're having to make a pit stop to change your tyres anyway.
Yeah, especially with the length of the length of the pit lane here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, you might lose 10 seconds changing tyres. I don't know how long it would actually be, but you'll more than make up that once you get back on the track with nice fresh tyres and somebody else has. Although another issue here is a couple of lockups for the tyre degradation you get can ruin a whole race. So you have to be careful how well you let the tyres get the temperature and up the pressures.
Yeah. We're just about to get ready for qualifying here. We're just having a little bit of a hold in the server. So let's give a bit of an introduction to probably one of the few other venues on the planet that can match Indianapolis Motor Speedway for its history, spectacle and sheer speed. Hallmarks since the earliest days. While the famous Indianapolis 500 race might not quite pack the same punch as it did in its heyday, it still remains one of the world's greatest races, filling each May with a sense of drama and intrigue. The first circuit to bear the name Speedway, everything about Indianapolis is vast. It has a permanent seating capacity estimated at 257,000, with an infield seating raising the total to approximately 400,000. This makes it easily the highest capacity sports venue in the world. Famously, the Speedway promotes within its perimeter that you could fit the Wimbledon, the Rome Coliseum, Kentucky Derby course, Yankee Stadium, the Rose Bowl, and the entirety of Vatican City, and still have room to spare. Now that is big. I'm not quite sure they could fit your house in it though, Derek.
Wow.
So qualifying is underway, and the AMs are just leaving the pits now. So we will try and stay close with some of the drivers. I'm just trying to find a driver on stream who is currently out on track. So we've got Adam Anderson, who is one of those drivers in the top 5 in the AMs, which we'll jump on board with for momentarily. I'm just trying to see if the stream has been pinged in the channels, which it has not. So I will allow you to talk. And what would you say is your tactic for qualifying?
I think fuel out the car and let's go. That is my tactic for qualifying. It's probably the same reason that my tactic, probably the same reason that my qualifying times work out to be the same as my race times. They're only a little bit smaller. I'm not good at tactical work on qualifying.
Yeah, I think that's. I experience the same problem as you know, where my race pace and my qualifying pace are basically exactly the same.
Although the difference between me and you that I have noticed is when we start the race, you kind of be a bit more reserved and watch what you're doing, whereas I would just go hell for leather and try to pass.
Well,
yeah. It works.
Yeah, I just think it, especially in these long, I wouldn't say 60 minutes is a long race, but in the longer distances, then you can't win a race on turn 1, but you certainly can lose it. I think the old adage goes. So at the start of the race, I generally look to be quite conservative, and if someone wants to go full-blown send on me, by all means go full-blown send on me. I'm going to battle you because I know you're going to probably smash into the car in front.
Mr. Anderson has been qualified.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why.
He put back in again.
Oh,
probably because he was out qualifying in the wrong.
Yes, so fortunately one of the admins are on hand just to kind of replace them back into the pits instead of setting a lap, which was quite forward of them. So I'm just looking at Bruce Hopkins at the moment in the Aston Martin in car number 60. It's his home race today as he is American. I know America's a big country, so we're going to put him in the lands of in the state of Indiana, which is his home race for tonight anyway. We see Mario Mariano parked up at the side, recently promoted to one of the FRL admins as well, has come up with a fantastic series for next season, which we will all look forward to.
I think you could say it's home race. Lewis Hamilton has Silver Spoon, and the fact that it's home race, as long as it's in the country, I'm sure it's technically home race.
Yeah, do you want to turn your mic up, mate? Because I can barely hear you.
Oh, that's a false.
Yeah.
In a couple of seconds.
Yeah, you usually. Yeah, you usually definitely me. So.
How's that?
That's a bit better for me. So Fabio Gallimani has set the provisional pole lap of a 36.6 so far, with Jordan May in second place with a 36.695, so 0.08 of a second down from that time. So we've got Alan Brown in the stream. Good luck to everyone in tonight's final race. Hope you all have a good one. Bubs 23, let's go Geordie.
We've got Simon Turner, my teammate for the Hungaroring in third.
Yeah, so the Turninator is progressing up the field. We've got
there as well, the usual suspects.
Yeah, so we've got Gallimani, May, Turner, Stewart, Hopkins, Brunel, Mariano, Spencer, Slater, and Huben. Currently, and Mark Rave also out on track. So there's a 4.8 second gap between these drivers at the moment. Currently, about to potentially go even faster is Fabio in the Team SPX car.
That's Chris for loading in. For Gedman. That Brunel, is that our good friend Tom?
It is, and Gallimani is about to absolutely obliterate the field with a 36.0, and that's going to be demoralising to even the Pro-Am drivers, I think, tonight.
Yeah.
Charles.
I was watching some mid to low 35s coming in during the qualifying, so it's always a chance.
And don't forget, we've also got the Masters live streaming on the Formula Racing League channel as well. So I'm just going to check if... can you have a check, see if it's working? Yeah, they're both live. So the Masters...
What we're looking at?
The Masters and Rookies are both live on the Formula Racing League TV YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure tonight. So please stay with me. The company
Put one on your phone, one on your tablet, watch them both?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are joining us for the first time, or if you are not a subscriber, please click that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way to helping the league progress.
Ooh, you're starting to sound like a proper YouTuber now.
I am. My skills have definitely increased, but Fabio is going faster again. He's currently 2 tenths up on his personal best lap, which was also is also provisional pole. He's 0.6 of a second quicker than anyone else at the moment as he starts to head round the final corner onto the famous Indianapolis Oval, down the start finish straight across the yard. Is it the yard of bricks?
Brickyard?
Yeah.
I believe it is it not the Brickyard 500 gets done here, or is that somewhere else?
No, the isn't it the yard of bricks that goes across the track? So even when you're racing on ACC, you could feel the judder as you go across the bricks.
Oh, I don't know that. That's something you've obviously researched and I have no clue about.
No, I'd never research anything apart from my little statement. That was about it. So the AMs have just 2.5 minutes left to set fastest laps. We've got Ross Spencer currently 0.5 of a second up on his personal best, currently in 5th place, just coming across the start finish line now. Ross Spencer goes from 5th to 3rd place, so outpaces Simon Turner. We've got Johan Huben is coming round the final corner now in the McLaren in car number 990. And the standout yellow and black livery representing the Belgium colours, he goes into P8 with a 38.225. Fabio is going faster again.
So I have your information for you.
Yes.
So the poor surface that caused numerous, sometimes fatal accidents to the track, was subsequently repaved with 3.2 million bricks. Over time, the bricks were paved over with asphalt, and now only 1 yard strip of bricks at the start-finish line remains exposed.
So it is the yard of bricks then?
Yes.
There we go. My memory serves me all.
3.2 million bricks. That's a lot of bricks.
It is a lot of bricks. So Jordan May has closed the gap slightly in second place. That gap is now 0.3 of a second, but I feel his qualifying is done as he's pulled over to the side of the track. We've got Bruce Hopkins just coming around the final couple of corners now in that Aston Martin, currently in P6 in car number 60. Just coming around the final corner. He's half a second up on his lap time. That's not necessarily going to give him a position, because it's going to bring him closer to Charles Stewart in 5th place. So that is a 37.3. So the times are starting to ramp up from these drivers. Anyone else improving? We've got Jordan May and Simon Turner in 2nd and 4th place respectively, both in the pits at the moment. Mario Mariano is going to increase beat his time by 0.2 of a second. He pulls over to the side. That is the end of his qualifying as well. Ross Spencer is going a little bit quicker, so let's just jump on board with Ross. Let's try and find the right end of his car as he drifts round kind of the diamond area of the Indianapolis course into this long hairpin left-hander. Touches the curbs on the inside, probably didn't want to touch them that much. It set him a little bit out of kilter for the next right-hander. Now you get the power down, bring the car back over to the right-hand side slowly as Ross Spencer sees the end of his lap. He's not going to be approved. Fabio Gallimani is in the pits as well.
Woodie's out on track, so that's the pros coming out there.
Yeah, Hoban is finishing his finished his lap. Tom Brunel's currently 0.4 of a second down on his best, on his personal best, but he is in P9, and one of the only well, Jacques Slater's out on track as well, but I think he is done. So Tom Brunel is the only AM who can set an improved lap. His personal best so far is a 40.380. So it looks as though it's not a track that suits Techie Tom.
No, Techie Tom's not having fun.
Oh, he's not. He's taken a very narrow approach to that hairpin, which has lost all his speed for the left-hander coming out. And
he's gone in the pits as well, so he's over. He's up.
So he is done. Jacques Slater shouldn't be qualifying, I don't believe, because he is an AM, but he is out on track at the moment. So see if one of the admins will be sorting that out. So we've got all...
He may be doing an in-lap, so they'll keep an eye on if he crashes the pit lane or not,
yeah,
and then remove him at that point. So
Elias Fernando is currently our leader in the championship. He is just about to start his first lap. We will jump on board Elias for a tour of Indianapolis as he approaches the final long right-hander before the start finish straight, positioning himself to try and get the most exit speed as possible. He looks to be one of the first drivers out in the Pro-Am section as he crosses the yard of bricks into the first right-left chicane. Try and widen the entry up as much as possible. Touch the curbs on the right-hand side without killing your car, and don't hit the wall on the left-hand side. So Elias navigates the first corner successfully. Second corner, get on the power as early as possible to drift through the triple right-hander, go as wide as possible before you hit the tip of the diamond. Get the power down on once again. This corner is now flat out as you then brake in position on the right hand side of the track for their left-handed long hairpin. Shift down to first gear, a little bit of oversteer mid-corner, come across onto the right hand side for the extremely wide exit, little bit squiggly under traction. Go under the car shop sign and bring the car over to the right hand side for the tight left-hander. Try and make this again as wide as possible to get on the power as early as you can. Next is a tricky right-left chicane. Use as much as the curbs as you dare without invalidating. He has not invalidated. Over to the right hand side for this. Get the power down for a short straight back on the oval. before you go again to a right-left chicane. The entry to the right-hander is very tight, so you want to widen that up as much as you can. Breathe the car back over to the right-hand side of the track for this left-hander now before you go towards the final long right-hander to complete your lap at Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course. Get onto the tarmac of the oval. Power is foot to the floor, and you cross the line and you go P6, 1.1 seconds behind. But that was a 1:37.0. That's not a bad warm-up lap out of the blocks, is it?
No, that's all right.
So Elias Fernando's in 6th, Adam Anderson is in 7th. We've got Danny McCutcheon in 9th, Van Ochner in 12th place, and Mark GG's popped himself into 9th place as well. That was a decent little tour of Indianapolis by Elias, and you can see why he is in P1 in the championship. I'm sure that time will improve. We've got Christopher Gedman in the server, and he has not managed to set a lap. So
no, because he's an amateur still.
Yes, he is an amateur.
Yeah.
I think he actually goes to Pro-Am this season, at the end of the season.
Ooh, he won't know what to do.
Well, maybe he'll have more than
He'll actually have to turn up on time.
Well, if anything, Chris will get an extra 10 minutes extra to be late for.
Yes, he will be able to qualify for the first time in his life.
But sometimes, we mentioned the caution at the start of the races. Sometimes being at the back is a big advantage, because people get to kill themselves in front of you and you get to try and breeze through.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. If you don't bother qualifying, your driver rate takes when you start at the back, but you gain those positions back, so probably gain that driver's rating back a little bit. But it's a compromise all the same.
Well, it's only so the driver rating, if you are new to Formula Racing League, is a wonderful system designed by a brilliant, brainy gentleman. So you get a maximum score of 100 points per race, essentially. Qualifying is usually only 10% of that, so the other 90% is based on your race. So if you do 2 races, then you get a maximum of 45 for the first race, 45 for the second race. If you then start to go down the classes, you get a maximum score of 80 across the qualifying and race. So it helps us formulate who goes into the AMs, the Pro-Ams, the Silvers and the Pros, just to try and give everyone something to fight for. Is the reason why it was designed. Adam Anderson has popped himself into P2, just 1/10 of a second behind Galami. Fernando is in P3, Emmanuelson is in P7, and Danny McCutcheon in P9. Sims in P10, GG in 11th.
We have JR in the chat, who has got you figured out completely. He says he's glad to see the Pink Pig is not on the track. The less tickets tonight. Yes,
indeed. I haven't raced. I've raced 2 rounds this season, and I am missing things. But the joys of my extra family in Sheffield is taking me away from many things.
Your extra family in Sheffield, but the wife here that one.
No, well, that family gets neglected quite a lot because I'm only meant to be there once a month. So Paul Sims we're just on board with now. We've got just under 3 minutes left to qualifying. So Paul Sims in the Scuderia Ferrari currently finds himself in P11, and he's not improving massively on this lap either. So it's not going to be an improvement. Maybe he's building himself up for a final run. Joe Placer in the Audi in car number 969. Is in 23rd, yet to set a lap. He and Christopher Gedman are the only 2 drivers who have yet to have done so. We've got 24 drivers on the track tonight, and it will be interesting to see how they get through turn 1. I remember you and I commentated on a super sprint race with Thomas Nopek and what was the American guy called?
Oh, well, you've ruined my whole night because I'll think of that and nothing else. Sherwood? No,
Sherwood. That's probably one of the most British surnames you could think of.
Thinking of Sherwood Forest.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I can't remember his name. You
But anyway,
destroyed my whole night.
he and Nopek had a fantastic battle into turn one. I think one of the races, one of them got destroyed. But anyway.
Oh yeah, they both got battered, did they not? Third place, did he not end up passing them in unconventionally?
I don't know, but I know the American guy still raced in the Lamborghini at the 24 Hours of Watkins Glen after Ferrari Gate, so he is still around. I think he messaged just prior to the Suzuka race because his team wanted to get involved. So he and Nopek had a fantastic battle in that super sprint season.
Yeah. Well, the American leagues are starting to become numerous now, so a lot of the guys that used to come here and have to finish work early or whatever to get a race, they can race a bit later now.
So just looking at Jim Emanuelsen from Norway, the land of Erling Haaland, just about to cross the line, was P8, jumps all the way up to P3. So that is a terrific jump from him. That still keeps Fabio, the AM driver, in P1. Anyone else improvement? Spider Monkey is currently 0.2 of a second up on his lap. Joe Plaister is 0.7 of a second up, so he's just coming towards the second half of the lap.
Spider Monkey, who's that?
Mark Stewart.
Okay, see, now you have to say that because it doesn't say on screen Spider Monkey. I don't know who you're talking about.
That's his Discord name, Spider Monkey.
Yeah, but we're on ACC, so the last names down the side is not Spider Monkey.
No, but it is Spider Monkey.
Making it very difficult for us people that don't race very much anymore or not sure what the Discord names are.
Well, do you remember back in the day of PSN names?
Oh, God, yeah. Half of them you couldn't broadcast.
Sorry, no. I've always been plain James, FRL James J.A. Williams or something like that.
The name that I missed the most, and I talked to JR quite a lot, but he's now Junior Racing or JR Sim Racing.
Yeah.
The JR Lock and Load, that was my favourite name of his. He got rid of it. It's still part of his PlayStation and that's it.
So so everyone has completed their laps. Ivan Martinelli of FRS in car number 100 crosses the line. He moves up from 17th to 16th. We've got Mark Stewart and Neil Woodward. Woodward's not going to be improving. That's a 6 or 7 tenths down from his personal best lap at the moment. But Mark Stewart in Mark 1 Racing in car number 96 is approaching the right-left chicane before the final corner. We'll do a quick recap of the grid before the race starts. Qualifying has ended for anyone not on a lap at the moment, so these will be our final positions. Mark Stewart is invalidated, and that is the end of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. We got
I just realised the difference in ballast at this track is crazy, isn't it?
Well, let's have a quick look at that then. So, let's move my logo away a second.
You got the Audi RS RALMS, which has got 29 kilograms, which I can understand. But then it seems like there's so many of them are just negative because they're not as quick.
Yeah, so
you get everything to balance out. Your fast cars in a straight line because there's so much straight line.
What, the 296 has got minus 27 kgs?
Yes, because it's slow in a straight line.
Oh. That would have been handy when Mark GG and I raced in this car.
There's a problem with the BMWs. They've got no ballast whatsoever. Oh no, maybe they are meant to have zero.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So yeah. That's a kind of a look at ballast times in terms of the qualifying positions. We've got Christopher Gedman in 24th place, Plaister in 23rd. He was unable to set a lap of his ability. Slater in 22nd. He's a driver that's come across on PlayStation. Rave in 21st, Brunel in 20th, Huben in 19th, Mariano in 18th, the Spider Monkey Mark Stewart in 17th, Martinelli in 16th, Roa in 15th, Hopkins in 13th, Stewart in 12th, Sims in 11th place, Danny McCutcheon in 10th place, the Turninator Simon Turner in 9th, Mark GG in 8th, Ross Spencer in 7th. We got the Wood in a Wall in 6th place, Jordan May currently 2nd in the championship in 5th, Elias Fernando first in the Pro-Am Championship in 4th place, Jim Emanuelson in 3rd, Adam Anderson in 2nd, and top of the tree, the Am driver, Fabio Gallimani, who was unsure if he was going to be able to make it. I bet he's quite glad he has now.
I'm going to park the drone camera at turn 1 and watch all the cameras.
Well, what we've, given the fact that we had enough time to prepare for this, what we should have done is set up my screen and your screen, and we could have actually seen what was going on from 2 pictures. But drivers are just pulling away now for their formation laps. They might. The good thing about this race, there's no pit window anymore. So strategy comes into play. You could potentially look to pit early and fuel up for the remainder of the race. You could pit. You could be a safe cake and go halfway through, or you could pit in potentially in the last 2 minutes of the race. So it does give a little bit of strategy. But we will have 1 hour of fantastic racing action. We will try and keep an eye on our podium chasing drivers of I haven't seen Elias Bakatev, have you?
Who?
Elias Bakatev. Should be in BMW car 988.
No, he is not here.
Oh, so Jordan May.
Just when you said, I was looking at we have a car in the pits, Mr. Slater. He's in a BMW, but that's not who they were actually talking about.
No, so just looking at the championship battle, so Jordan May potentially could win this because Bakatev hasn't turned up.
Well, that would be a bit upset to win through that one.
Yeah.
I can't find the driver that's supposed to be in the pits. I don't see his car. Maybe it's not in the pits or he's not here.
It doesn't look as though he is in the server for whatever reason. I can only see 23 cars in the server.
Yeah, so Lothar Slater's been disconnected from the pits.
Which is a shame after going through all the turmoil of qualifying to then not make it through to actually compete in the race. That's got to hurt. So in terms of our championship protagonists, we've got Jordan May is in 5th place overall. He needs to gain at least 17.5 points on Bakatev. Scudetto is not racing tonight. Turner is in 9th place. Spencer is in 8th place overall. Fernando is in 4th place. Sims is in 11th. Adam Anderson is in 2nd place. Drobat I haven't seen, and Woodward is in the wall. No, he's in 6th. As drivers now approach the start-finish line to drive across the yard of bricks for the first time in this race. We have an hour in the finale here at Indianapolis Speedway, and we are almost ready for the action to start, and we are go. Fabio's had a fantastic start. Anderson's dropped back slightly. He's going to be under pressure from Emanuelson into turn 1. Fabio has got away nice and cleanly. Emanuelson is well in the lead. Woodward's gone send. Woodward's gone send. Makes contact with Emanuelson on the inside, but he is up to 2nd place.
Yeah, that's a big send.
That was a huge send from Mr. Woodward. How did he manage to get away with that without killing anyone? But round the back of the grid, everyone looks as though they've got away pretty cleanly. You can see Placer here in 23rd place, fighting with that is Tom Brunel. He's gone for a move around the outside, but all our drivers have managed to get away quite cleanly. We've got Mark GG in the Gregsmobile in 10th place. There's a lot of fighting in the midfield, but our top... Where's Fabio? Fabio's dropped down to P3.
Yeah, and the thing is, I didn't see an accident.
No. So he's dropped down to P3. He's now holding Fernando back, which has allowed Woodward and Adam Anderson to absolutely disappear in front. Mark GG's gained another place. He's now up to 7th place, but I do not know what's happened with car number 77. It looks as though I'm going to try and click on a button which says replay, and we can see what happens. Was that a yawn or a scream?
That's worried that the stream will now die. James's PC will shut off and never come back on.
No, no, no.
The replay buttons are awful.
The replay button is awful, but that did not show anything from the start of the race. But Fabio is under a lot of pressure from Elias Fernando. Fernando's moved to the outside, inside to go into turn 1, and Fernando has breezed past Fabio. We've got to remember, Fabio out-qualified all the Pro-Ams by a country mile, was top of the tree overall, and is now falling quicker than a stone in water.
Normally the Ferraris have a terrible, terrible start.
Yeah.
And it looks like all the Ferraris got a good start, so that negative 27 kilograms has definitely done some good.
Well, and Jordan May's lost a place to Jim Emanuelson. Emanuelson runs a lot wider. Jordan May gets away down the straight a lot quicker. But 6 of the top 7 are all Ferraris. In fact, 8 of the top 10 are all Ferraris.
Yeah, I think you'll be seeing a BLP change for that eventually.
Yeah, I appreciate that there are a lot of Ferraris on the grid. There are 8, 9, 10, 11 Ferraris in totality across the grid, which is almost half of the grid, but you still wouldn't expect 8 of the top 10 being Ferraris in any regards. But Adam Anderson is leading the way. We have a massive yellow flags as Mark GG, I think, has potentially caused some death.
That makes sense. He's quite good at it. Generally, he kills himself when people hit him.
So I'm just on board with Paul Sims in the replay.
Woody is killed first place, but he's let him go.
Oh,
sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, you just saw. So it looked as it wasn't Paul Sims who was involved. It was just behind Mark Sims. Mark GG got tagged, which sent him into the wall. Paul Sims then tried to avoid it, and ended up getting ruined on the straight. But you just said Adam and Woody had a little bit of contact.
Yeah, so Woody outbraked himself and tapped him into the last corner and sent him sideways, but
we're just having a look at it now.
Didn't overtake him, just kind of stuck where they were at, but didn't take the position.
Just having a look at it now, so you can see Woodward following it into turn 1. As you said, outbraked himself, tagged the back of Adam, and Adam didn't lose too much, maybe lost a little bit of control of his car, but still keeps the car on the straight and narrow. Jordan May is trying to put Jim Emanuelson under pressure. Towards the back of the grid, we've got Joe Plaister moving his way through. He is now up to 15th place after overtaking Roja. He's going to be after Mark Stewart next, but behind Plaister there is an awful lot of battling between Stewart, Roja and McCutcheon. McCutcheon's dropped a fair few places since the start of the race. Maybe he was involved in that incident with Sims potentially, but at the moment it all looks good for Jordan May to claim the win in the championship and Fernando to claim the win in the Pro-Ams as we stand. 13th place is Simon Turner. He's under pressure from his Geordie teammate Mark GG into turn 1. Fortunately no collisions there.
Geordie's Unite.
Yeah, Newcastle United are us, YI man, as it looks as though Turner has just allowed Mark GG to overtake him into 13th place, which has put Mark GG on Martinelli's backside, but Plaister wants to get involved in this trio as well for the MMS Michner Motorsport in car number 969. So he's doing his best to move his way through the grid. Elias Fernando is putting Fabio in P3 under quite a lot of pressure. The Spaniard versus the Italian. I had to double check the flag that on the stream there to make sure it was right.
It's not like you to get things wrong, Dick.
I get things wrong constantly. Once upon a time, I created a Discord server. It's now dominated my life.
Yeah, that was possibly a bad move.
Don't forget, we have the Patron membership here in Formula Racing League as well, which goes a long way to being able to support us. Within the link tree on the profile, you can find our Patreon. You can subscribe to it for as little as £3 a month, and it goes a long way to supporting us. We've also got the Endurance 2024 first 2 races released, which is 12 hours of Hungaroring and 4 hours of Donington. You will see every single hour live here on Formula Racing League TV. So please, again, click the subscribe button.
It was a very American subscribe button.
It was intentional. It was intentional.
Are you saying Americans make the better YouTubers?
Well, you always hear a lot of YouTubers which are American. Martinelli is under pressure from the Gregsmobile. I'm just trying to think, what would his Greg's order be? Do you reckon he's a steak bake kind of guy or a sausage roll kind of guy?
He's from Newcastle, surely it's a salad.
Fried Mars bar.
Fried Mars bar, that'd be more of a Scottish thing, wouldn't that?
Oh, it's any of you northern lot really, isn't it?
You can't lump all the northern and Scottish people together.
Well, where would you count as north anyway? Oh, that was Simon Turner misses his braking point in the background and destroying some more brake marker boards, which has allowed Pleister to get past Simon Turner in the background. So we've got Fernando and Gallimani going hammer and tong at it in 3rd and 4th place. Remember, Gallimani is in a separate class to Fernando, but that doesn't mean Fernando doesn't want to pass it, or that Fernando wants to let Gallimani wants to let Fernando through. Fernando has a championship to win after all.
Oh, Gregsmobile almost got taken out there. Northern England, I would say definitely Newcastle and things like that. But north of the UK would be Scotland. It's a northern country to England. That's how I look at it. That might not be the right way of doing it, but
okay. Where does the north of England start? I think it's anything north of Birmingham, but
no, God, no. Well, if you go into the north of Birmingham, how are you going to have central England?
But Birmingham's central England, that little banner in the middle, and then anything below Birmingham then is safe.
So Birmingham is the staple of centre.
Yeah.
Woody has put himself off in turn 1.
He has indeed, and that's put him into the clutches of Fernando and Gallimani as well. Fernando has got past Gallimani whilst we were debating geography.
Yes. I've noticed Mr. Anderson has decided after that tap the back of his car from Woody, he's not hanging about anymore. He's gone.
Oh, you can't really blame him. You don't want to.
No.
You don't want to risk being hit from behind. Fernando is now
Fernando tried it.
Oh yeah, well Gallimani tried it as well. So car 777 is right on the back of Fernando. He wants that position back. Remember, between Gallimani and May, there's only Emmanuelson currently sitting in the middle of them. So that's not going to put Fabio in the greatest place of comfort. Looking towards the back of the grid, if there is anything less than a second, there currently is not. Christopher Gedman's made his way up to 19th place. His setup must be completely and utterly dialed in.
Well, it only took him 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, he never even got to get his tyre pressure set up, did he?
No, he didn't. So looking at the back...
Give it to about 20 minutes and then it'll be running like a bag of dicks.
Well, once he's hit the wall, then he'll start blaming the setup.
Yeah. It's the best thing in the world. Car's beautiful until it doesn't work right, then it's gone wrong.
We love you, Christopher, honest.
Oh, he knows it.
Yeah.
The good thing about Chris is he takes it very well, but he gives it out just as good as he gets.
He does indeed. So Woody is now in the clutches of Fernando. Fernando is under pressure from Fabio, and these two have not spent 2 minutes. There's an engagement oncoming, and maybe it's going to start. The proposal's going to start into turn 1. Fabio is in the slipstream. He's now moved right back in. He's going to try and send it down the inside. No, he is not. Well, you say not close enough. We saw what Woody did right at the start of the race, and that was from the brickyard.
Yeah, but also he went round the outside. So there's a lesser chance that he's going to career through someone. There's always the gap in front's always going to close if you're not alongside, because that person's going to turn in on you.
Looks as though well, I thought we had lost a couple of drivers there. We've lost Rave. Oh no, Rave is still in.
No, Rave is in last. We've got 20 drivers, that's it?
Yeah, so we've lost 4 drivers since the start of the race. I didn't see any massive contacts, but Fabio has gone send, and has he managed to pull it off? No, he has not. He is still in 4th place behind Alliance Fernando, and these two battling. It's just allowing Woody just to start to pull away a little bit more, but it's also keeping Manuelson and Spencer interested. Stewart is a further 6 seconds back of behind Spencer. Then we go into Hopkins, Sims, Martinelli, Gigi, Pleister, Turner, Stewart, Roja, McCutcheon, Gedman, Mariano and Rave. So we still have our 20 drivers on track.
I think we may have had disconnection issues with so many people, with 3 people disappearing at one time, because one of them is Tom Brunel, and he's not a rage quitter.
No, he is not.
We know that, so possibly a wee disconnect for a few people. Broken engine or something, maybe?
Sorry?
We'll call it a broken engine or a ruined transmission.
Yeah, it's some damage to the car. I suppose that's one of the things we always refuse to accept as sim racers, is there will be an electronic failure of some sort, just like in the real world, where something just goes wrong, and you could.
Well, in the real world, it's engines or transmissions or suspension gets broken or something. In the racing world, it's your equipment.
Yeah.
That goes wrong.
Well, I always remember, I think it was the last race of the Master Series one year, and Terence Keenan had 2 disconnects in a row, and up to that point he was leading the championship.
Yeah, I remember that. One was in qualifying and then he got disconnected right at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, I think it was Monza, wasn't it? So it happens to the best of us. Unfortunately.
But then again, Potato Lad had a potato setup.
Yeah, Potato Lad had a potato internet. But it does happen, and it is just one of those unfortunate things that can happen, even in the sim racing world, where your equipment fails for whatever reason, or your internet connection dips out. So we have Adam Anderson currently leading the way by 3.8 seconds from Neil Woodward in 2nd place. Elias Fernando in 3rd. He's finally got a little bit of breathing space with Gallimani, who is leading the AM class, with Jordan May just a second behind, with Emmanuelson in 6th place. Ross Spencer in 3rd place for the AM class is in 7th place overall. As we've got our first driver to dive into the pits, Paul Sims has gone in for a stop in car number 42, and that's going to probably take him some time. We've also got Christopher Gedman in the pits as well in his Porsche. So our first 2 drivers to have a pit, and that is, well, you're only a quarter of the way into the race. That is very early.
Is there a pit window anymore?
No pit window. No. It is
so you can pit whenever you want.
Yes, and
so that's more than likely a damage issue, and taking full advantage of having to go to the pits to get it all taken care of at one time.
Well, we'll see the length of the pits. I know Paul Sims was involved in some contact earlier on after Mark GG got a little bit of a punt, so he will certainly have damage. Obviously, we've not seen anything that's happened with Mr. Gedman.
I'm looking at his car in the pits just now, walking around it. It's dented and scraped and busted. So
it's the setup.
Definitely a pit stop.
So
I will go into the replay because I can do that and see if we can figure out exactly what happened.
So Paul Sims is out of the pits. He is in 18th place. You've got Mark Rave is actually in 19th place. Paul Sims. Mark Rave is in 19th place. So he is right at the back besides Chris Gedman, which is a shame for Paul Sims because he has been one of the front runners for the majority of the season. Simon Turner is the next of our drivers to pit. Looking at his car, it doesn't have any flappy bonnet syndrome, so it doesn't look too damaged in car 346, but it's again seems early to do a pit stop, especially the way Indianapolis likes to kill tyres. So Paul Sims' pit stop was a 52.8. Gedman's was a 53.8. So it looks as though there was at least an extra 20 seconds or so of damage. Simon Turner is coming up to 40 seconds now of his stop, so maybe he has damage as well. So we have Danny McCutcheon currently residing in 15th. Mark GG is 0.7 of a second behind Martinelli. This fight for P10 has been going on for some time. And then you've got Plaister just behind these two as well. Jordan May is now within a second of Gallimani for that AM class win. That will greatly help Jordan May claims for his first ever Formula Racing League championship. He is currently in line to go up to silver next season.
So I just having a quick look at the replay. Christopher hits the wall right around the time that everyone disconnects.
Right.
And those cars did disconnect. They went through walls and just stopped. So maybe there was a wee issue there that caused them to hit the wall other than setup, but we won't ever know. Probably practice. Practice is a big deal for Chris, he thinks. Well, equipment is more important, isn't that?
Yeah, you gotta have a load cell pedal. so
definitely hit the wall. Whether it was set up or whether it was a freeze on the screen for him, we don't know.
I'm thinking more likely it was possibly a freeze on the screen, and then that was also a repercussion for the drivers that got disconnected as well. So
yeah, because it was right around the same time. You could actually I paused the stream on when Chris hit the wall.
Yeah.
It went through the other cars, and that's right when they all disappeared. So unfortunate, but we are 20 minutes into a race. There's nothing we can do.
No. So that gap in front is now 3.4 seconds. Last lap for Adam Anderson was a 37.5. Woody did a 36.9. So gained almost 0.6 of a second on Adam Anderson in that lap alone. So this could potentially come down to pit stop. Plaister is putting Mark GG under pressure as they cross the line now. Mark GG 38.0. Plaister a 38.8, sorry, for Mark GG, 38.0 for Plaister. Plaister goes for a move down the inside. Mark GG is very, very courteous, shall we say, and Plaister makes up the position. He's gone up into P12, and that's going to send Plaister onto Martinelli in front. Roja is 7 seconds further down the road. So Jim Emanuelson now with, so Tom Brunel said his game crashed.
Yeah.
Emanuelson is going to make a move on Jordan May into the left-hander. No, he's not. He is backed out of that, and quite sensibly. Again, a reminder, the top 6 out of the top 7 cars are all Ferraris, so I don't think the bop has necessarily worked here today.
No, I think the Ferrari's OP. Which Ferrari's OP at the best of times. It's why generally you find them a lot of ballast, but...
Well, I was quite surprised when I saw, that is Jordan May making a mistake at the hairpin, which has allowed Jim Emanuelson to go past. That doesn't affect him too much in terms of overall, in terms of AM position. He's still in second place, but he now has an extra car before he gets to Gallimani in front. Gallimani is put in Fernando under some pressure as they head down into turn 1. This has been an ever-present battle throughout the throughout the first 22 minutes of the race. So I don't expect this one to be going away. It's kind of ebbed and flowed in Fernando's and Fabio's favour so far. We've got 3 drivers who've completed their pit stop. We've got Sims, Turner and Gedman have all done their stops. It's coming to the point where drivers, it's probably more realistic to pit halfway through the race, but there is that argument to just keep going right as far as you can until your tyres die.
They say if you're at the back of the pack, it is worthwhile pitting early. That way you come out fresh air. If you're in the middle of the pack, probably pit middle. And if you're at the front, you want to drive as long as possible until you start hitting back markers.
Well,
That'd be the sensible way of doing it. But
the thing is, if you pit early, and your pace isn't necessarily rapido, then you're at risk of being lapped and have to lose time for giving way to drivers at the front of the grid. Especially in the pit lane, the length of this, and the lap isn't exactly a Spa lap. It's a 1 minute 37, 1 minute 38 lap. So it's not the longest lap in the world.
yeah, and we've got the front runners start to catch up to the 2 furthest back of Raven and Sims at the moment, who are already down, I believe. Do you want a quick update on what's going on in the Masters?
Yes, please.
Okay, so in first place we have Mr. Zach Dell.
Yep.
About 2 seconds behind him is Stakeki.
Sagetti, yep.
No, not Sagetti, Stakeki.
Yeah, him. Christoph.
Yes. Yes. And then we have Pisogli in third place in the Ferrari. And then Mr. Garby and Nabila round out the top 5. It's interesting, there's some McLarens, a BMW and an Aston in the top 10. And then the rest are Ferraris. So 5 McLarens, 1 Aston Martin, 1 BMW and 3 Ferraris. So on the pro side, the Ferrari's not as OP.
Ah, and that's generally...
Although they still have somewhere in the region of about 15 to 20 people that decided to go the Ferrari, but they are spread out quite well. So
yeah, it just where the BOP is picked from is obviously the quicker drivers. The BOP, they're not going to look at times for me as an example to pick the ballast, as we've got Gallimani crawling all over the back of Fernando still in this race. So Fernando is not getting a moment's peace, but I'm sure he's quite enjoying it in car number 23. Gap is just 0.3 of a second as they cross the line. Woodward is still gaining 0.6 of a second a lap on Adam Anderson, so he's going to want to try and drive for as long as possible in that in the Ferrari mobile. Looking further back, Plaister's now within 0.7 of a second of Martinelli in that fight for P10. Plaister was one of those drivers in the top 5 in the overall standings.
I believe he's running the fastest lap time.
Yes, his fastest lap time overall is a 36.455, which is quickest by just under 1/10 of a second from anybody else. Let's have a quick recheck on Gallimani and Fernando. I almost wanted to burst into ABBA then.
I've been thinking the same thing when you keep saying Fernando.
Tonight, stars tonight, Fernando. I'm sure we're not going to get demonetised for my attempt to sing an ABBA. No,
definitely not. Might get demonetised if you call on the dancing queens in the front.
I don't need to do that, you do. And don't forget also...
I can't be cancelled, I've got no followers or anything, so it doesn't matter.
Don't forget also, Coach Dave Delta has had a massive improvement in their latest update. Please be sure to use the affiliate link. It now includes all your data to be able to make you a faster driver.
Tom says in the chat that 3 Belgians got kicked from the game. So
What?
He's claiming that is a conspiracy.
A malicious attack on all Belgians.
Yeah.
That is quite a coincidence, isn't it?
Well, it's obviously a specific internet problem to Belgium, I would imagine. We glitch in the matrix or something, but it does make sense that any Belgian drivers at that point, if there was a problem, were all kicked at the same time.
Yeah. So.
And it was exactly the same time. So Chris must be driving in Belgium if he wants to use that as an excuse for crashing.
Well, Mark GG is the next of our drivers to go into the pits, almost halfway through. He's currently in 16th. A boycott, Tom has suggested. Well, I'm sure you are all watching the stream if you're in Belgium, and hopefully you didn't manage to miss a single moment.
The stream's gone up by 3 watchers, so maybe the internet came right back, so they came in and watched.
Mr. Chica Thompson says, good evening, comms team. I hope you checked out for tonight, Chica.
Yeah, your rating's going down the toilet, buddy.
Yeah, your attendance ratio is gone. But Fabio Gallimani is still all over the back. Mark GG is in the pits for a long time. He is now he is moving.
He did have damage, so he must have been decided to fix it. Must have been enough damage he had to get it fixed.
Yeah. And did well to manage to hang on for as long as he did. If he did have considerable damage, but he's now. This is probably the most frustrating thing about Indianapolis. Look how long it is taking him to get down the start-finish straight with all the cars. Now he's finally able to put his foot down and go. He then cuts off turn 1 and feeds into turn 2. You've got Simon Turner as the driver right behind him. That is for position of 17th place.
And the pit exit on Indianapolis as well must be the worst pit exit in the world, because if you get it wrong, you're taking someone out if they happen to be there. We've seen that. We saw that happen quite a few times on the endurance race, didn't we?
Yeah. I would go the top 2 worst pit exits. Paul Richard.
Yep, you're coming right into the line that everybody wants to use the turn.
Yeah, the braking zone for turn 1, and Donington Park.
See, I have to put Brands Hatch in there as well.
Yeah, but at least
Brands Hatch is right up there for me, because that's 100% coming out right into turn 1. You're on the apex. You have to hold the apex to make sure that the car's on the outside.
But
by the time they know you're there, they've already started making the turn to hit the apex, so something's going to give.
So our P2 driver, Neil Woodward, I thought he was going to go longer. He's ended up going at smack bang halfway into the race. Has now gone into the pits.
Yeah, may have been a previous setup. He set up to go in halfway. And as you know, once you've got a set amount of fuel in, once the race starts, you can't add it on the fly.
Yeah. But usually Woody sets his strategy up to go longer. But maybe he wanted that extra boost off the start-finish line, start straight, which gave.
There's also the possibility. There's also the possibility that in order to keep up the pace, he's killed his tyres, and that was part of his plan as well. Was stop, get tyres, and fuel.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see if he actually does change his tyres. We've got Martinelli is in the pits as well. So Woodward in 13th, Martinelli in 14th currently. Woodward is moving.
Yeah, so Anderson is now 31 seconds in closing on Woody, who got a good pit stop done. That's how short the track is and how long the pit stop is.
It's Stewart and
20 seconds.
And Ross Spencer. Spencer goes onto the grass. Stewart is going to try and go around the outside or go for the undercut potentially, get the power down on early in the BMW against another Ferrari, but that Ferrari just pulls away. But not this time though. The BMW's got a great exit from the corner down the straight into the braking zone, and that is a beautiful move up into 6th place for Mr. Stewart. Cracking move and full bravery put on there. Woodward is out of the pits and he is on track. He has the next car behind him is Anderson. So yeah, I fully agree with what you just said in terms of he had a good pit stop,
Yep.
and then is almost
Right on him. Yeah. And
so
obviously Anderson still has to make his pit. We'll see if that brings Woody back into his sights. We'll see if there was maybe he didn't get picked up quick enough. You don't want to lose 2 or 3 seconds.
well, his stop length was where are you, Mr. Woodward? His stop length was 52.7, which is the second quickest so far. Mark GG had a 52.5 was the quickest pit stop so
And you
far.
you were saying Mark GG was sat there for a very long time.
It did, it did, but
and he's got the fastest pit stop of the
Oh, Danny McCutcheon almost went right into the back of Mark Stewart there. There was Andy Royer who went... Oh, I'm not sure who... It must have been a lap car. So we've got Spencer in the pits, Plaister in the pits as well. Spencer is just moving now, so he is away. But Danny McCutcheon is trying to make a move on Mark Stewart. So this is Ferrari versus McLaren action. Fernando has gone into the pits from P2, which is going to free Fabio Galmani. Danny McCutcheon has oversteer and drives onto the grass. And Mario Mariano
realised that Ray, the 19th, hasn't actually made a proper pit yet.
No, he has not.
And he's been in the pits twice. Maybe he decided it was worth it. Anderson started to lose a bit of time to Woody on those new tyres, but...
well, this is the thing now. Is the overcut or undercut going to be key? Woodward has absolute free air. He has a massive gap in front of him. So next car in front of him is Danny McCutcheon. Fernando is stationary in the pit box on the start-finish line. And he is now just moving away. Woodward should comfortably come out in front of him as he's approaching the last sector now. Just about to start going through the long right-hander.
He's going to pass them in the pits. That's not a problem. He's a good 20-30 seconds behind Gedman, who's the next car in front of him. So he's got a 30-second gap between any car is fresh air. That gives him all the...
Woodward has passed Fernando, so he's going to at least retain his second place. But this is going to be the key. Is it going to be overcut or undercut key? Is having those fresher tyres at the end of the race going to be more of a benefit than getting some free air and punching out? Adam Anderson does have free air in front of him as well. Just starting another lap. Gallimani has 8 seconds in front of him, but you've got Emmanuelson, May and Emmanuelson and May not too far away from him. Martinelli has fallen behind Joe Plaister after the pit stops, and remember Plaister pitted earlier than Martinelli, so maybe the undercut is strong here.
I think it's hard to say, really, isn't it? Because the undercut for Woody would be from 30 minutes to whenever Anderson decides to pit. I don't see 15 seconds is still not enough that Woody should pass Anderson. There was a 3.5 seconds difference.
Yeah.
So until it gets to that, Anderson can just pottle on round with his old tyres, as long as he makes sure that he pits in time.
But the issue was, last lap, Woodward was 1.7 seconds quicker. Oh no, 7/10 of a second quicker, sorry, on the last lap. So that's eating into that 3-second lead that he had. Just on board, Jordan May getting very squiggly coming out of the final corner. We have another Ferrari looking to overtake him, but that must be a lapped car of that Ferrari, because that certainly is not for position.
Getting back to the strategy of it, as long as he can keep anything of that 3.5 seconds,
yeah,
and then pit, he should come out, as long as his pit's as quick as Woody's, he'll come in and out in the same length of time. So he just needs to make sure that he doesn't allow that time to drift away too much. At the moment, it looks like it's somewhere in the region of about a second, 1.3 seconds total.
Just have a look at the pit times. So Mark Stewart actually was 51 seconds stationary and 52.5 seconds going through the pit stop. So that's what was deceiving me. Simon Turner had a 45-second pit stop. Martinelli had a 40.5. Placer had a 32.8 second pit stop. Same as Ross Spencer. Paul Sims, interestingly, is right behind, is 15 seconds behind Elias Fernando, and Sims only stopped for fuel. So that was a 13.5 second stationary moment. Mario,
so we thought, but yeah, you're talking about from the minute the car gets lifted to drop again.
yes.
Right. So how long was Woody?
Woody's was a 32.3 second stop, 52.7
Right.
seconds going through the pit lane.
Yeah. So that probably covered a little bit of damage that he got as well.
Yeah.
And then if any misalignment when you first arrive at the box, because you know yourself, you're not perfect. You don't get picked up for a couple of seconds, or they drop you and pick you up again.
Well, the fastest stop is a 1.1 second stop by Mario Mariano. I'm not sure if that was damage repair and fuel or tyres and fuel. I'm not 100% sure.
To be honest, I don't know if you can stop and get an exactly 30-second pit. I know that at the counter says 30 seconds, but I don't think it's possible to actually get 30 seconds because the 30 seconds doesn't start until you're in the air, and then it stops when you're down on the ground, or before you go down on the ground. So there's always going to be that little bit, but everybody will have the same gap if you park in the right place. So that makes sense.
Yeah, Danny McCutcheon has yet to have pit. He is right on the back of Mark Stewart. That gap is a couple of tenths of a second. Mark Stewart currently in 8th place. Woodward is 32.7 seconds behind this battle.
And I think Anderson has just gone over his allotted time to pit. So he is now at 17 from 14 seconds. That 3.5 seconds gap is gone. So I think he's going to come out in second place behind Rudy. Well.
Adam has dived into the pits now. There's going to be interesting to see if he is going to pit for just fuel or replace his tyres. As Danny McCutcheon goes for a move down into the hairpin and decides to back out of it, and Stewart drives away. So keep an eye on when Adam comes out of the box and is lowered down. And Woodward is just going through, just started sector 2, I believe.
Yeah, he's on the long straight down.
Yeah.
So we have Adam Anderson leaving already. He got fuel only, I guess.
Yeah. So it hasn't updated, but that does look indeed that it was fuel only.
He's driving.
So as soon as he crosses the pit line, I'll get to see how long his stop was. Charles Stewart is also in the box as well. And Charles is now dropping in the BMW, so he's currently in P9. Adam Anderson is in P8. We are on board with Woodward, just going through, coming up towards the final turn.
Out the pits and at full acceleration.
And that stop was 11.8 seconds.
So he did fuel and nothing more, which puts Woody 30 seconds behind, but with fresher tyres.
Wow. A lot fresher tyres. So that lap from Woodward was a 37.3. He has now moved directly behind Adam Anderson, and we will get the latest gap as soon as it's available.
Well, definitely, they should, if everything goes well for Woody and nothing goes wrong for Anderson, they should meet up again close to the end.
Yeah. Well, Emmanuelson has also just has gone into the box. It'll be interesting to see how many drivers just go. So far we've had Charles Stewart has just stopped for fuel. That was a 17.3 second stop. Adam Anderson did 11.8 seconds, and we've got Sims has also done a 13.5 second stop. So Sims has placed himself with that in between him, in between Stewart and Spencer. So that gap between Anderson and Woodward is currently 20 seconds. As Woodward,
it's 20 seconds now, but because the tyres are getting back up to pressures and up to temperatures, it's taking a bit of time off of his lap time. So Woody's managed to pull that gap down by 10 seconds in one lap.
Well, also Anderson had to get past Mario Mariano as well, and has a Porsche of Gedman in front of him as well. So it would be interesting to see if Gedman gets out of the way quickly, or he will potentially
vaulted, maybe.
Yeah, he might get vaulted.
He's gone really wide. He's gone wide. Oh. That wasn't an intentional wet by right enough.
So Jim,
that was a get out the fucking way.
Interestingly, Jim Emanuelson has also just done fuel. So that was a 15
I've just noticed he's right there behind.
Yeah.
And Sims was another one. Where's Sims in comparison?
Sims is in between Spencer and Stewart. So it looks as though any of these drivers boxing later are just doing fuel.
Yes. I think that's not a bad call, because you can judge how your tyres feel at that point.
Jordan May has also gone into the box, and this could potentially start unravelling the race for Neil Woodward. He's now got to overtake Emanuelson and then catch Adam Anderson and pass.
That's the thing, he's now got to get past these cars that are now in the way.
Paul Sims...
Is there any cars in front of Anderson that haven't passed?
Yes, you've got McCutcheon, Smith, Roher, May is in the box,
May's
and then you got
now, but he's on 16 seconds away.
Yeah, and you've got Hopkins, and Gallimani has yet to have stopped as well. Sims, however, if you look at his lap times, Ross Spencer, who has changed tyres, his last lap was a 1 minute 36.8. Sims was a 39.7. So almost 3 seconds difference. I'm not sure that's going to be exactly the same across the entirety of the grid, but
no, it's difficult to tell. We know that Anderson and Woody are on the same speed in the same car. The only difference that they have is one's got a new set of tyres. So I would use them as your benchmark to see what the difference
Adam
actually
Anderson in his first full lap out of the pits was a 38.2. Woodward did a 37.6, so that's only 0.6 of a second difference. That's not going to be enough at all to claim the difference. Also, interestingly as well, Jordan May has come out in front of Woody as well.
Yeah. Well, we said at the time Woody may have gone a bit early. But we don't know if that was part of his beginning tactics or not. He held second position for long enough, but I think regardless, if he finishes higher than 6th place, which is where he qualified, you still have to take that as a win.
Yeah, we've got another driver driving into the pits as well. That is Andy Roher, who was a bit further back on the grid. So we've got 4 drivers yet to have completed their stop. Fabio Gallimani, Hopkins, Stewart and McCutcheon, and right at the back of the grid, Rave has actually completed his stop. So he did a 37.5 second stop. So he stopped for tyres and fuel.
Anderson back into the mid-37s, which is about Woody's pace at the moment. So that's causing...
Woody's going to have to pass May as well, so and Emanuelson.
And someone else. No, Rocco's not out yet.
So Fernando did a proper pit stop, as we'll say, which is tyres and fuel. As we're looking at Danny McCutcheon trying to go for the inside line on Mark Stewart. Mark Stewart is defending for his absolute life at the minute, and is still managing to hang on to that. So Fernando did a proper pit. Bless you. Did a proper pit stop. He is lapping in the 36s. So I'm not quite sure why Woody's in the 37.3. So he was only 0.3 of a second quicker than Anderson and Emanuelson in the last lap.
There's always a possibility that he has destroyed his tyres. Had a slide or a skid or so. and that really affects tyres on this track because of the degradation to begin with.
Jordan May is also all over the back of Jim Emanuelson in P7 and P6. We've got Hopkins who's dived into the pits. Mario Mariano is come in for another pit stop. I'm trying to think. I don't think this track is there's only 2 corners where I can think track limits would be a major issue.
Track limits when you're coming off the last corner onto the long straight. Everybody likes to push hard as they can. If you don't have at least one tyre still over that white triangle on the right side of the track, you're in trouble. Danny McCutcheon doing donuts on the grass. He's flicked it back to the pitch. He's gave up.
He's done. So Playster is also all over the back of Paul Sims. Paul Sims was one of those drivers who boxed for fuel only. He's lost a place to Ross Spencer already. Hopkins is coming out of the pits, which now promotes Woodward to 7th, May to 6th, Emanuelson to 5th. So we have 2 drivers yet to stop of Gallimani and Stewart. Placer, is he going to send it into turn 1? No, he is not. He's going to hope for better traction on his fresher tyres.
So Gallimani is one of the previous 4, correct?
What do you mean? Yes, he is.
There was. The only reason I'm saying that is because he's on lap 29.
Yeah.
Michael Stewart is only 5 seconds ahead, so when he goes for a pit, then he'll get past him, no problem. If he goes for a pit, I don't know how long Michael Stewart's going to go. But Gallimani, I can't get a time. All I know is he's a lap ahead.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what that position means. He's doing 1:37.5, so that's within the same realms of time. So it just depends. He might end up going long enough to actually win this.
Yeah, potentially.
Because why would he want to change tyres this late on now?
Well, he's not. We've got 11 minutes left, and if he changes tyres, then something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Woodward's last lap was a 37.7, which is about the same time as Jordan May and Emanuelson. Adam Anderson did a 38.1. So I don't think Woody's going necessarily quick enough to catch anyone yet.
No. I think he buffed his tyres up after he came out the pits, try to push too hard.
And we are down to 18 drivers, so Mariano has gone, and Danny McCutcheon gets another DNF to his growing record. So Mario got taken out by Rave in the beginning laps, was the information we've received from the pit lane, and Ian Chica Thompson says good choice not to change tyres. I think you're quite right. Yeah. Maybe we should have Chica in the comms box to provide those wonderful insights. What do you reckon, Derek?
See, this was always a big thing before the update, the 1.9 update, when the tyres got changed. It was always the preferred choice was to not get tyres anytime there was an hours race, unless you were forced to.
Yeah.
But since the new update, a simple slide or whatever can give you such a flat spot, it's not funny. That you need to change tyres, so it's definitely added a new aspect. Tyres are probably still not worth getting if you're a smooth driver, a smooth, consistent driver. If you're quite erratic, you probably need to change tyres.
So last lap around, Anderson was 37.4. Emanuelson 37.5, May 37.3, Woodward 37.0. So he's gaining, but 9 minutes left, about six laps remaining. It's not going to be enough.
Anderson's going to have to do something silly to make a mistake. My worry, for Woodward's point of view, is he doing enough just now to even get 4th or 5th place? I don't think he's catching them as quickly as he would like to.
Well, he's currently in 4th place in the Pro-Am class. So I think that's certain. Overall, I think Gallimani has potential to come out with a race win here.
think so myself.
And also, just noticed something. The driver who's actually making moves in terms of speed is Elias Fernando. It was 0.5 of a second quicker than Woodward on the last lap.
Oh dear, he's right behind Woodward as well.
So you might be right with your prediction. He might not even get 4th place.
Yeah. It could be quite disastrous, but I mean, it looks like Elias, just from the time screen, is right on him just now. So Woody will be probably having to defend at the moment.
And Playster's got past Sims up to P11, so starting from right at the back of the grid to getting towards the top 10. It's been a terrific effort from Playster, and fair play to him. Gedman, so if we go from the back of the grid, we've got Rave, Gedman, Turner, Gigi, Martinelli, Roja, Paul Sims in 12th, Playster in 11th, Spencer in 10th, Hopkins in 9th, Charles Stewart in 8th, Fernando in 7th, which we can see on our screen, fighting with Woodward in 6th, May in 5th, Emmanuelson 4th, Anderson 3rd, Stewart in 2nd, and Gallimani in 1st. Remember, our top 2 drivers have yet to have completed a pit stop, so they have 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to be able to do so, and I'm pretty sure they will be just stopping for fuel rather than having a full service.
No point. Yeah, even if you got a flat spot at this point, I don't think there's any gain that you're going to get out of that.
Remember, there was 17.5 points between Jordan May and Bakitev in the AMS Championship. I think Jordan May is going to secure that AMS Championship. Fernando in P5 overall.
I would imagine so, because the other fellow never turned up tonight, did he?
No, he didn't. So got Sims is Fernando's closest battle, and Sims is all the way down in P12. So I'm pretty confident that as it stands, Elias Fernando is going to claim the Pro-Am title. But anything can happen in the last 6.5 minutes left of this race.
May had a DNF, didn't he?
He had a checked out race.
Yeah. So that one will be the one that disappears, so May will actually just be gaining points. I know that the guy in first place didn't have a race that he didn't attend.
No,
he'll possibly lose points at this point. Oh, no, this one will be the one it takes out, so he'll not gain any points.
No, but he'll gain his 15th place back. So before confirming the champions, which I'm pretty confident they will be Fernando and May, but we will stay on board until the results are loaded. To make sure to confirm and crown our rookies champions for season 9. Remember, we have the silvers, the Pro-Ams which are in the silver colour, and the Ams which are in the red colour. Probably. That was that netcode then. Sorry, I thought Fernando was just about to drive through the back of Woodward.
And there's Michael Stewart popped into the pit, so he's got pit stop done.
So let's see where Stewart comes out with, because he was in front.
He was around Mark GG in that, wasn't he?
No, he was in front of Playster, I think. But you can imagine that Stewart is only going to stop for fuel. Adam Anderson. So Stewart has reached his pit box. I can't imagine this going to be a long stop, as we're looking at car number 96 being serviced by a pit crew at the moment. Are those tyres going to
work out? Gallimani. He's not going to put much fuel in, maybe 4 litres, 5 litres.
Well, Gallimani has gone into the pits. That was a short stop by Mark Stewart. So Gallimani is now in the pit lane. Just coming across the brake markers. You don't want to get a stop and go 30 at this point.
No.
So Stewart's pit stop was a 17 point. Not Stewart. Mark Stewart. I haven't got his time yet of how long he was stationary for. So there is Gallimani. He is being serviced by his pit crew now.
He's already lost.
That was rapid.
So I'll keep an eye on Gallimani if you want to keep an eye on Anderson. He's got 25 seconds to get out of the pits. It's going to be close.
Yeah, so Anderson now is just coming into the final sector. So Mark Stewart was a 17.5 second stop. Anderson is now starting to approach the long right-handed final corner, getting the power down. Is Gallimani?
Oh, Gallimani's got it. Yeah, I believe he's got it because he's just coming over the pit line now.
And
that's him at full acceleration now.
Well, I don't know. You can see Gallimani on the right hand, on the track map on the right hand side, just about to feed into turn one.
He's gone.
And Gallimani has done the ultimate overcut.
Yeah, but now he's got to kind of hold him off until he gets his tyres up just that little bit again. But so, yeah, he played that GT. He's went there nearly a full tank of fuel.
Yeah. And
so his plan from the start was to go low.
And Gallimani, that's probably explains why he was so slow at the start of the race, because he had so much fuel on. Gallimani was stationary for a total of 6 seconds. That was 5.8 seconds less than Adam Anderson in second place. Woodward has been overtaken by Elias Fernando and has moved up to, and Fernando has now moved up to 5th place, 6.5 seconds behind Jordan May. So he has some gaining to do in the last 2.5 minutes. I don't think that's gonna he's going to manage to claim that, but that's going to push Jordan May into 2nd place for tonight, and Gallimani is going to capture the win. Remember, Gallimani wasn't sure if he was going to make it tonight. I bet he is glad that he did now.
Oh yeah, I would say so. I mean, technically Anderson and Gallimani are in different classes, not fighting for a position, but it's still nice to have that, oh, well, I did win it overall.
Absolutely.
Eventually, when there's no classes involved, that strategy will pay off for you.
Jim Emanuelson has been overtaken by Jordan May, so Jordan May has moved up to 3rd place overall. So two of the top three drivers overall are both in the AM class. I'm just trying to see if there was a yellow flag or anything for which could explain why car 167 was overtaken by 30, but nothing is there. Woodward is trying to get that place back on Fernando, and he is pushing hard. There's 2.6 seconds between Anderson and Gallimani, but then 12 seconds back to Jordan May. And Manuelson has fallen to a 2nd behind Jordan May. So Tom says, splash and dash, great strategy indeed if you have the ability to pull it off.
Yeah, see, I would, if I had managed to pull off a strategy like that, I'd be so excited in the car just now, I'd probably put it, well...
probably piss yourself.
I do that on a daily basis when I'm racing anyway. That's why I bought a plastic seat.
Wipe down.
Yeah.
So yeah, Woodward is trying his best to get that 4th place, but Fernando is just starting to pull away a bit more. Emanuelson with a 39.4 last lap, which probably demonstrates that he had a bit of an off, with Jordan May popping at a 38.0. Adam Anderson is popped in a 37.7.
Yeah.
Our leader
Gallimani's still going faster, yeah.
Yeah, by
I don't think
0.2 of a second, and Gallimani is on the final lap. He must have Ross Brawn and Jean Todt in his pit crew, because that was an absolute fantastic strategy. But you have to have the ability to be able to pull it off. He obviously doesn't have the current Ferrari pit crew in his box, as he must have had one. Must have had one from yesteryears. Hence why I went with Ross Brawn and Jean Todt.
Yeah, if it was current Ferrari, they'd change the engine at the same time. Box for an engine. Probably still be quicker.
Yeah.
I thought that the strategies Ferrari are doing just now, I don't understand them.
Well, they're currently building next year's car, but yeah, I get what you mean. Back end of last season, well, middle of last season.
No, it's not even just last season. Back when Vettel was still there, the strategies were awful. I mean, you can't say much about the car. Cars are going to be cars, things like that, but who are they hiring as strategists? A couple of monkeys to a keyboard?
I'm sure all the Tifosi are absolutely loving your feedback.
Probably.
But mainly, the main talking point, we have Fabio Gallimani just coming through the final corner, and with an absolute strategy goldmine, comes across to win tonight's Indianapolis for the AMs, and overall, Adam Anderson wins the Pro-Ams in second place. Jordan May is going to come across to claim third place overall, and a terrific result for Jordan. He gets third place. Jim Emanuelson claims 4. Elias Fernando wins the Pro-Am Championship. Jordan May wins the AM Championship, we will confirm shortly. Neil Woodward will feel disappointed with 6th place, I feel. We've got Charles Stewart just coming to the final corner now. He's going to claim 3rd place in the AMS section and 7th place overall, so well done to Charles. And then you've got Bruce Hopkins in his home race in 8th place. Ross Spencer will claim 9th place. Joe placed a terrific comeback drive from him, will claim 10th. Paul Sims, our first driver to just go for the fuel, is in 11th place. Ivan Martinelli in 12th place. Directly behind him is Mark GG in the Gregsmobile in 13th. Andy Roja will claim 14th place. Mark Stewart, one of our drivers to pit a lot later, is he going to claim 15th? He is, from Simon Turner in 16th place. Christopher Gedman has already finished in 17th, and Magmatic Rave finishes in 18th place. So we will wait for the results to be loaded, but it does look as though to me Jordan May will be crowned our AM Championship champion, and Elias Fernando is just doing donuts on your screen, will claim our Pro-Am champion, but we will confirm that very, very, very shortly indeed as we watch these drivers complete donuts at the Brickyard. Oh. As the session kicks them through. So we have moved across to our next session. We await the wonderful admins here in Formula Racing League to load the race results in, and we can confirm our champions. But that was a pretty epic race, wasn't it?
I quite enjoyed it, yeah. Very strategic film.
Yeah, that definitely added...
Uh-oh, the servers are down.
What servers are down?
ACC servers.
Oh.
Maybe that's where all the disconnections came from as well.
Yeah, it started in Belgium.
Yeah, everything starts in Belgium, Brent, Tom.
The home of the European Parliament, of course. So,
is it?
Yeah, I think so. In Brussels, isn't it?
Maybe. I don't know, I don't deal with politics very much.
Right, can you do us a favour and
yes.
Ask DM Woody and say do the bloody stand-ins or the race
results? I could go into the chat and stop him crying and warming up to do it.
Yeah, I will give you a roll back so you can come back in here.
Okay.
There we go. So yes.
Slowly getting these rolls back, I don't want them.
But that, wow, I'm not sure what your feelings are, people who are watching, but having not just great racing on track, but also an element of strategy involved is always terrific to watch.
And it's up. It should be up.
Right, so the results are up. So if you give me 2 minutes, I'll also give you a lesson in how to use SimGrid. So
somebody's going to have to teach you first.
Yeah, they are. So 2 seconds. Window capture. There we go. So this is the wonderful world of SimGrid. If you go to hosts, and the top one there is Formula Racing League, which is us. So it's nice and easy to find. So we will go into the rookies season standings, and the results have been loaded. Remember, these are provisional until any instance have been reviewed. So
doesn't look like you're broadcasting.
Yeah. So our top 3 for the AM seasons in the Pure Sim Gear rookie season is Simon Turner in third place with 413 points. Elias Bakatev missing the final race of the season, but he claims second place with 440.5 points. And our AM champion for this season is Jordan May with 461 points. So last ditch claim of the championship with that second place overall wins him the championship. Our Pro-Am standings are Placer claims 5th place, Woodward in 4th place. Adam Anderson with that race win bumps him up into 3rd place overall. Paul Sims manages to hang on to 2nd place in the championship with 470.5 points. And Elias Fernando is our Season 9 Pro-Am Rookies Champion with 509 points. So huge congratulations to all those drivers that took part this season. It has been an absolute privilege having you within the league, and hopefully you were all ready for our Christmas and New Year's events, and also for Season 10 next season, and Season 12 for the Masters, for those who have received a promotion. I'll leave you with the final word, Derek. What did you think of that one?
Epic!
Good night.
Good night.